Why, you guys, the views Joy Behar got put in her place. Check this out.
If you want to know how columnist and blogger Michelle Malkin feels about who's in the White House, her new book title says it all. Please welcome the author of Culture of Corruption, Obama and his team of tax cheats, crooks, and cronies, Michelle Malkin. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you.
I spent this weekend getting through most of the book. You write faster than I can read at this point, but I want to talk about the title, and I
That doesn't make sense.
want you to expand a little bit about it. You'd be hard-pressed, you say in this book, to find an area of the White House and the Obama administration that's not corrupt, correct?
That's right. I scoured from top to bottom. And, of course, a lot of people are already familiar with the botched nomination process. Everybody knows about tax cheat Tom Daschle, Bill Richardson, who was involved in a lot of pay-for-play scandals.
What botched nomination? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Tom Daschle, the first HHS Secretary nominee, who represented everything that is against hope and change. He's a revolving door lobbyist. He failed to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars of taxes on his private crony
and there
driver.
was nothing like that in the Bush administration?
Look, that's not, look.
I'm just wondering.
Of course there was. And if you are familiar with my work, Joy, you know that I have been at the forefront of criticizing cronyism and corruption in the Republican Party. I was the largest voice against Harriet Miers and Michael Brown and cronyism at DHS. But guess what? Newsflash. George Bush is not in office anymore. And it's time for the American public to reckon with the fact that what they were sold was a huge bill of goods.
And in what way?
Did you read the book?
Some of it.
400 pages.
I did. I read some of it.
I filled 400 pages over the last 6 months to talk about every broken promise, transparency, accountability, ethics. And I think that there is a turning point in this country, and we've seen it over the last several months, and particularly over the last week, Joy, as people are going back to their home districts during this recess and holding accountable not just Barack Obama, but the Democrat majority for failing to
move
deliver.
On from the people in your group, Republicans and right-wingers.
Do you want like I'm an alien in my world?
Conservative, but, you know, it's a different group of thinking.
Criticism.
That's all. But, I mean, do you think that a lot of Republicans like yourself want to move on from the Bush administration because there's so much corruption in that 8 years?
Well, you don't want to move on from it.
I don't, because I want to see.
Yeah, that's right.
First, you have to get the pus out of the sore before it will heal.
Again, you know, let me respond to Joy first, and then I would love to get to the friendly side of the aisle here.
I'm being friendly.
The point is that the only substantive response to the book so far has been moral equivalence. What about Bush? What about Bush? What about Bush? Yeah. What about Michelle Obama? What about Joe Biden, who has traded on his crony name for the past 30 years, who represented, again, the antithesis of hope and change?
No, because I don't want to take it off the subject of what you're going to... I was just curious.
These type of people, the only way that you could beat them is just with facts and logic. That's how you annoy them the most, and that's the only way that you could ever win. You just have to annoy them with facts and logic. Let's keep going, guys.
You know, it seems to me, and it's just my opinion, but that tends to happen no matter who someone is if their family, their pedigree has been around a long time. I mean, it doesn't matter, as you say, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat. Cronyism seems to live on all the time, and I understand you don't like it. What I'm interested in, though, is you say that you believe that this administration is more corrupt than other presidencies, and I wondered if you could explain.
I actually don't say that in the book. What I say is that you have to measure...
Okay, I just want to show you this so you know what side of the aisle. We're all on the same side of the aisle. See what it says right there? I didn't write that.
Right. Well, whoever wrote that did not read the book.
Okay.
What I said was that you have to measure this...
This is sad, guys. They underestimated her before they brought her on, but these people that they bring on to talk about their books, and then they try to destroy them on their books when they wrote the books. She didn't write what she tried to say. She tried to push an agenda. They've been doing this forever, guys. Let's keep going.
Administration. That's not a quote in the book. You can't find it.
No,
Show
that's
me
what
where
I'm
it
saying.
says that.
I just said I didn't make this up. This was just good.
What I'm saying, Whoopi, is that you have to measure this administration, the principal, foremost agent of everything fresh and clean, hope and change. Isn't that what we were sold this last campaign? And he rode in on a horse, a white horse, taller than any other in recent memory. And like you can talk to any young person who voted for Obama, they thought they were going to get something fresh and clean. We got got Tom Daschle. We got Bill Richardson. We got Joe Biden.
So what would you have done?
Let me just, because I really want to get some of the facts out of the book.
I'm shutting up.
We have a technology czar who is a convicted shoplifter. We have a commerce secretary who is knee deep in Chinagate campaign finance.
What is your alternative, though? That's my question. What is your, well, I just wanted to finish the question. Since this is the most corrupt, how do you see fixing it? That's what I'm asking.
Well, let's take this czar thing, because I think whether you're on the right or the left, the explosion of these unaccountable presidential appointees who have no congressional oversight, who have no transparency in what they are doing. We don't know how much our taxpayer money is spent on the budgets of people who have vast control over the economy, over changing the landscape, the electoral landscape. There are now 44 of these, okay? We've had a Homeland Security czar under the Bush administration, a drug czar under the Reagan administration, but not to this depth and extent. What are these people doing?
Michelle.
We've got a healthcare czar who has been meeting, possibly in secret, with healthcare executives to cut them out. We don't know. That's the point.
Michelle, as a person who was just voting for the first time, and I'm looking at 8 years of just craziness. I'm looking at a president who there's still trailers in Katrina that he did not fix. I'm going, I wanted to vote for a man that I thought could change this. I'm thinking that he is. I'm supporting him. I think that he's trying. What do you want me to do with this stuff?
Why don't you
Because
give him a
John
chance?
McCain, had he won the presidency, there's a lot of stuff about him that you could write a book about.
I probably would have, too,
And so then, with all of the stuff that you have, then what is
the answer?
She has had an objective critique throughout the years
Two
upon
things.
politicians.
I have been in daily journalism for 17 years now, and I believe that sunlight is the best disinfectant, and I believe that knowledge is power. And you can see that in the resignation of the auto czar, Stephen Ratner, here from New York, who's involved in the quadrangle pay-for-play scandal, is involved in all sorts of nepotism, he had to leave. And it was through the force of public disclosure. I want people to read the book. And I want people to know that I dedicated this book to whistleblowers. It's not just us crazy right-wingers who are calling attention to this. I wouldn't have been able to write this book if it wasn't for people who were knee-deep in the trenches working for Obama, who now have buyer's remorse because they understand that hope and change was a lie.
But did you have the same feeling about blowing the whistle during the Bush administration when we went into a war that was uncalled for, to say the least?
Well, I believed in the mission, and I still believe in the mission in Iraq.
Really?
And the fact is that, you know, despite Obama's promise that we weren't going to get another 4 years of the Bush administration, guess what? He's not only continuing the surge in Iraq, but also in Afghanistan.
He is. And that is a point that we're totally out of time. Michelle, I want to thank you for coming. Do read the book. There's some great information in there. Everyone in our audience is going home.
Wow, guys, like I tried to say, man, they underestimated her before they brought her on. Everyone wants to say it was all because of Bush. It was all because of Bush. They want to cry and yap that all the time. But when is it going to be all because of Obama? And there's some people that say interest rates are high, inflation is high, gas is high, everything is just high because of Trump. Some people like to lie and spread that, but it's not because of Trump. It's because of what Biden's doing. Trump had great rates during his office time. I think the best thing about this episode is the audience get to go home with the book, so they get to read the truth. Let me know what you guys think about this quick video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're new. And as always, let me know what to react to. We're out.